today, Mr. Omar Halil with Tiger's Den Mixed Martial Arts. Thank you so much for coming in to meet with us today.
Thank you for having me.
I've learned a little bit about your story, and it's fascinating. And so every week we come out with a show called Influencers, where people come on, talk about their life, and really educate our followers on the things that they've done, from either physical, business, and just be more of an influential leader to the people that that follow us on our shows. And so, Mike was telling me about your story, and so we'd like to, if we can, just learn a little bit about who you are, what you do, your background, and kind of start with that.
Absolutely. I've been doing the martial arts ever since I was 2 years old, from I would say probably mid 1994, and I've been doing it ever since. I was very blessed and fortunate to have a family business that was kind of already started whenever we started doing this venture. We've had very much success. We've had 3 karate schools, 1 fitness gym, and it's just been a constant, a constant uprising in success. We've been doing very well, thankfully, and it's been a great blessing. We've have, like I said, 3 karate schools in the Clear Lake, NASA area.
Yeah.
And we've been there for almost 25 years now, and it's, like I said, it's been awesome.
So your father was like kind of the founder that kind of initiated all this.
Right.
Okay.
Right. He actually was an insurance salesman for quite some time whenever he came to this country, and after that he owned a convenience store for quite a while.
Right.
And he was kind of doing that, and he met a gentleman who still owns karate schools in the Pasadena, LaPorte area, and they connected, and from then on we went in a partnership with them.
Gotcha.
And I believe it was in 2009 we decided that we wanted to go off on our own and have our own karate schools, and ever since 2009 now it's Tiger's Den, and now we're no longer with that other affiliation.
Right.
But ever since then it's been awesome.
Yeah.
And even back when we were with the other schools, it was still an amazing experience. I learned a lot. Without the martial arts, I wouldn't be where I am today. The martial arts definitely helped me progress as far as a man in life, and teaching me different things about humility, being humble, kindness to others.
Okay.
Basic just things that nowadays people don't really seem to grasp as well. So the martial arts, like I said, definitely pushed me in the right direction of being a good person with a solid foundation.
Yeah, and I can sense that about you. You seem like you're very in control of yourself.
Yes, sir.
I have that sense with you that you don't. A lot of people, like when people they can sense another human being, their spirit, and something that resonates with you. How I see it is that that you don't have a lot of anxiety, or at least you seem like you can keep it down.
I try to.
And so I think that's a really good thing, because most people are just a ball of fire, and they're all over the place. And so, and that's kind of what I wanted to learn a little bit about. So, I have always looked up to martial art people. I run every day. I run 8 to 10 miles a day.
Wow.
Yeah, I do. But I don't, like the whole thing, what you guys do, I've always been impressed by it. One of the questions I have is, like, what's the difference, man? I mean, I know that there's karate, there's jiu-jitsu, there's MMA, there's boxing. I mean, is there one that is the pinnacle of all, or is it taekwondo? Is
Absolutely
it kung fu?
not. No.
Tai chi? I mean, is it,
So the days of karate is the best, the days of kung fu is the best, the days of taekwondo is the best are long gone. And people that are still kind of stuck in that mentality of my style beats your style, it's kind of a wash.
Okay.
It's kind of like, what's more entertaining, basketball or football? Well, it's kind of based on your opinion.
Okay.
If you like basketball better, you'll watch basketball. If you like football, you'll watch football. But with the martial arts now, with the arrival of the UFC, people are kind of understanding that you can't just be an expert in one field. You have to kind of branch out and learn all these different styles and learn all these different things, or else if you're put in a situation, for example, if a boxer were to get into a street fight, whenever, and he gets taken down to the ground, a boxer's not going to know what to do because he's never been on the ground before.
I see.
And now he's in trouble.
Right.
It's the same thing if a jiu-jitsu guy who only knows how to do jiu-jitsu is fighting a boxer.
Okay.
That boxer's going to tear him up because he can, punch his face off, basically. So you have to be able to branch out and learn the different fundamentals of at least different arts. For example, I've done karate for a very long time. I did kung fu for a little bit. I wrestled in high school. Now I box, I kickbox, I still wrestle, I do jiu-jitsu, I still teach karate and train in the martial arts, and I even do my karate katas every now and again, and it helps to kind of branch out and learn different things in different styles.
So what ends up happening, I guess what you're saying is you become more dimensional.
Exactly.
And so you can pull from that cupboard of spices or whatever, what have you, when you need it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. You know, when you make food and you only put salt and pepper, it's going to be bland. But you put salt, pepper, all the different seasonings and spices. It really brings out everything else that you want to see in it.
Right. Now, is it possible that if you get involved with too many that you're not going deep enough into it?
It can be, absolutely. If you just kind of dip your foot in the pool just for a little bit, you're not going to really gain the full understanding of what you're trying to learn.
Okay.
You know, if you just train jiu-jitsu for a month to 6 months and then you stop going, you're only going to have that span of that knowledge that you know. So you have to keep going, you have to keep showing up, and you have to at least try to push yourself past the way you were yesterday or the day before. You know, my dad taught me this philosophy of the 1% rule, is if every day you go to training and you improve by at least 1%, in 100 days, you're 100% better.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And then you start over and you do it again and again and again. And it's more or less a mental thing, a mental check to yourself, hey, you did okay today, but you did better than yesterday. Show up tomorrow and see how well you do.
Okay, so that was one question. So how important is self-awareness in your development?
Very, very. I mean, you run into a lot of people that have a very high opinion of themselves and have a very, especially in the field that I'm in, you run into a lot of egos and a lot of people that need that reality check. And in a fight, it's kind of the worst time to get a reality check, you know, because your body is on the line, you know, your health is on the line. So it's very important, at least in my opinion, to stay humble and to stay honest with yourself.
Yeah.
You know, for me personally, whenever I train or I spar or even in fights, I watch them and rewatch them and study them and watch them again and take notes. So that way I know, okay, I did this good. Now I need to improve on this to make this better. And then I'll watch it again. Okay, I did it better, but I still need to improve on this. So it's there's never that perfect state. You always want to try and strive for it and reach for it, but in reality, it's not there. So you just keep pushing, you keep working, you keep trying, and at the end of the day, when you're exhausted from training, at least you worked your butt off and you tried really hard and you were better than you were yesterday.
Okay. Right. No, I agree. I think that's huge. Now, is there any key as far as like your because you also now I know that you're running a business now. You're helping people.
Yes, sir.
To with their development with martial arts, but you also fight for a living, right? For an income.
Yes, sir.
So how? I'm just curious about that. I mean, what's the life like? I mean, what are the rituals that you have to go through? Can you kind of briefly just kind of walk me through a day of?
So, I mean, it every day, usually starts about 6 a.m., 6:30. You only have so much time during the day, so you have to try and use your time as wisely as possible.
Okay.
And that's something that I'm learning as I go. And so a typical day for me would be I wake up as early as possible, have some breakfast, a cup of coffee, and then I immediately go to work.
Okay.
As soon as I go to work, I have a couple clients that I do some boxing training or some personal training with, and then from there I go to my first training session, which is usually about 11:30. Immediately that training session is about an hour and a half. From there I go back to work, shower. I teach a couple. Right now during the summertime we have summer camp for our kids that are there.
Okay.
So I'll teach a summer camp class.
Cool.
I'll teach a summer camp karate class twice a week, and from then on I'll probably have some lunch after that, and then I go back in the evening to teach a couple more classes for the normal evening customers, and then I go right next door to the gym, train again, and then go to sleep and do it all over again.
Now, would you have that schedule like if you were getting ready to go fight?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So how much time are you training, like you personally training to get ready for the fight?
So my own personal training, I'll probably set aside. If I'm getting ready for a fight and I'm in fight mode and I'm getting ready and I'm preparing, I'll probably set aside between 4 to 6 hours per day just on training. The rest is work and whatever personal needs I need to take care of. But at the end of the day, you know, while fighting is amazing and I love it and it's a goal of mine and a dream of mine to make it as a that's all I do. For now, I have a full-time job and you know, responsibility is responsibility.
Right. Now, are you doing anything for, like, do you do any swimming or running, or is it all in the gym? Or
A lot of running. Swimming is fantastic. Swimming is really good for recovery, and it's a good high-intensity exercise with not a lot of wear and tear on your body.
Right.
So swimming is good. Running is good. I even do things like, just to kind of give me more of a balance edge, I'll do things like paddleboarding. I'll do things like wakeboarding, just different things. Skateboarding, I love skateboarding. Longboarding, I'll go up and down the seawall in Galveston.
Oh yeah,
you know, a couple weekends and just do that. So anything that kind of gets me out of my own element a little bit to further my just to further my knowledge of what I'm doing is better. Is good for me.
Now, how important is diet in all this?
Very important. Very important.
You can't eat whatever. You can't have KFCs and pizzas and ice cream and all that.
No, that's actually my victory meal. Is I'll go to Whataburger and I'll get a patty melt and a large Dr. Pepper and just chill.
Just one patty melt?
Maybe two. No, but the diet is very important. You know, extremely important. What you put in is what you get out.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm very much a believer in eating the clean, right foods that you need to eat in order to achieve that next level of success.
Right.
You know, you can have two guys and one's eating Whataburger and McDonald's and Burger King every day, and another guy that's fueling his body with the right stuff.
Yeah.
The guy with the right stuff is going to look better, he's going to fight better, and he's going to do better in those situations.
100%.
So, you know, I research as much as I can on nutrition, and I change things up and I move things around, but nutrition is awesome. And that's another thing that I'm still learning as I go. And it's
I got a question for you now. What's your thoughts like on sugar?
On sugar?
Yeah. Do you have any
it's necessary. It's very necessary, but in moderation. Just like with everything. Everything is, as long as it's taken in the right format and in the right way, it shouldn't do you that big a harm. A Coke every now and then is not going to kill you.
Okay.
You know, as long as you know, take it easy and you're not going overboard with it.
Right.
You know, 3-4 Cokes a day, that's a little bit much.
Yeah.
But
take it easy, Mike, on the Coke.
A little bit every now and again, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
You know, it's good for you. It can kind of, you know, shock the system a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing.
What about alcohol? I mean, do you drink or?
Occasionally.
Okay.
Very, very rarely. I'll have a beer every now and then.
Okay.
You know, but other than that.
So you're not having like a gin and tonic every night? Or?
No.
Okay.
No. I try and stay as focused as I possibly can on what I'm trying to do, and all the partying and the drink, all that stuff, that later.
Yeah.
Not now.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool. So I guess now, you know, for people that if you guys are looking to learn, I've always, you know, I've had the aspiration to learn. I mean, I work 100 hours a week, but if people want to learn from you, how do they find you? I mean, how would they contact you? How does that?
We are, like I said, we're located in the Clear Lake, NASA area, and on that side of town near Kemah. And the best way to find us is through our website at tigersdenmartialarts.com. We also have a Facebook page, Tigers Den. We have an Instagram at Tigers Den 3, I believe.
Okay.
And you can find us there. And, you know, check us out. We've been in the community for a really, really, really long time.
You said 25 years? Or
Close to.
Close to 25 years?
From 94, so 23, 23 and a half.
Awesome. That's awesome, man.
Very long time. We've worked with tons of different people in the community. Quite some time ago, we actually worked with the Houston Rockets. We worked with the Texans, the Comets when they were still here. A bunch of different people, you know, so we've kind of branched out and done different things, and it's been a blessing to do what we do. Yeah.
Now, let me add one thing that I was going to say in regards to that. So you'll take in anyone, or do they have to meet a criteria or
anybody?
Test?
Anybody and everybody. We teach kids from as young as 3 years old to as old as 75, 76 years old.
Wow, really? Okay, so I thought there would have to be some type of physical test or
no, not at all.
Mental thing or...
If you want to train and you want to learn and you want to empower yourself, there's nothing better than the martial arts.
Okay.
Especially for children. We've taught... Our main focus is kids.
Oh, wow. Okay.
More than anything, our main focus is kids. And even special needs kids, all different sorts of kids, doesn't matter.
Wow.
You know, we've definitely had to turn people away just because of whatever.
Yeah.
But... you know, at the end of the day, we're here to help our community and empower those that are less fortunate and want to be better at what they do. have more discipline, have more confidence in themselves.
Mhm.
You know, kicking and punching in the air, while it looks cool and it's great, that's not our main job and our main focus. Our main focus is to empower those little guys and those little girls to eventually do something empowering to themselves and empowering to their community.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it might be.
Yeah. Now that's one thing I wanted to kind of finish up or conclude with you. How, and I know I asked you this earlier, but because a lot of people think, well, or I guess intuitively I would think, well, if I'm a fighter, that it's all just physical. But I would think that just like in sports or in business, that there's a whole mental game.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
And like an internal, so can you kind of tell me, like, I mean, what, like the mental that you have to go through, because you're talking about discipline, getting out of your comfort zone. How do you deal with stress? How do you deal with like fears, and like how do you because that's a huge thing for people.
Right, absolutely. I'd like to say I ignore it as much as possible, but some things are just kind of impossible to ignore, especially when you get to the stage of you're walking to the cage, or you're training and you're tired, and all these different stresses, and like you said, fear. The best that I try to do is try and block those things out. And like I said, sometimes it doesn't work. And whenever I feel that fear or anxiety, I just take a deep breath, I stay calm, I stay relaxed, and I think about why I'm doing what I'm doing. You know, whether it's for, myself, whether it's for, just the betterment of other people, I'm doing it for a good reason. And for me, like I said, I try my best to block those things out. When I feel that fear and anxiety, I try and ignore it as best as I can. I've been listening to a guy, his name is, I don't know, you might have heard him, is Jocko Willink.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
I listen to him.
The Navy SEAL.
The Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
I listen to him.
I got done reading his book. Yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah.
And when he says, with that little voice in my head, I ignore it. I don't listen to it. I block it out. Things like that kind of, when I see other people at that high a level doing those things, it kind of resonates to me. Okay, if it's working for him, it can work for me. Yeah. So I try things like that, and it definitely helps.
Yeah. There's actually, I don't know if you read, he has a book. It's he's with his partner, his buddy. It's called Extreme Ownership.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So that's a really good read. Do you read a lot, or?
I love to read.
Okay.
I like to read a lot of history books. I mean, I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to history.
Okay, cool.
I love history. I love different sorts. I just like to learn.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, with the training that I'm doing and the things that I get to do, it's a constant learning process. Learning the business that I'm involved in, and teaching people and fighting and all these different things. At the end of the day, I'm learning.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is more important than anything.
Yeah.
If I can't fight anymore, at least I can share what I know to my students, and they can share it to their students, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So the line of knowledge just keeps going. And like I said, to me, that's more important than anything.
Who are some of your heroes? Do you have any fighter heroes, or?
I definitely look up to a lot of different athletes for the things that they go through and the things that they can accomplish, and the things, some of the trials and tribulations that they go through in order to get to that high level success. George St. Pierre, who is a 11-time welterweight champion. BJ Penn, he's still fighting. Muhammad Ali is another great one. But my two biggest influences and my two biggest, I guess, heroes, I would say, are my parents.
Okay, wow.
My parents are definitely, more than anything, the people that I look up to the most.
I got you.
They've been working at this business for a long time. And they're just amazing.
Yeah,
I can't think of another word besides amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. No, I mean, I'm so glad that you came in today. And I mean, hey, if you guys are looking to get any type of help with martial arts, you want to learn, this seems like incredible man to learn from, him and his family. All the information will be also posted online on the website, the phone number. Give Tigers Den a call. Go stop by there. They got 3 locations, and it's in the League City area and Seabrook area. You can probably Google them, but the website will be online. You can check us out, and man, thank you so much for coming in today, man. It's really awesome.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Very humbled and pleasured to have you come here and meet with us today.
Again, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome, guys. This is another great edition of Influencers. Thank you so much for checking us out. Follow us on Angelo Christian Mortgage on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Every day we come out with great content to empower you guys. We'll see you all next week. All right. Cool. Just under 20 minutes, man.
Awesome.
Cool.
That was
yeah,
great.
yeah, man. I really
Thank you.
liked that. That was really, really good, man.
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. That was
no,
fun.
Thank you. Yeah, it was. So all that now you can. Well, if you'd like, what you can do is you'll get a copy of this. You can post this on, link this on your website.
For sure.